Okay, so that should be recording. Okay, so I guess kind of what I'd like to do is start off by trying to figure out a few things on the JavaScript side. So earlier I had dropped a link about that promise thing, and that's something I think that they're going to go into tomorrow. Almost positive they're going to go into it tomorrow because it has to do with asynchronous stuff. So I'm going to do cd into home. I think I've got a demos folder, and then okay. So we're just going to make this one called carousel. carousel. Yeah, close enough. Okay, so if let's see, what was the? I always forget what he was using. Wasn't it parcel? Yeah, I think it was parcel. So if I do npm init, so this is something you guys probably haven't seen yet. So this will initialize an npm package.json file, and pretty much it just kind of it makes a package.json file right where you're at. We're gonna call it carousel, so I hit enter because it's already there. Version 1.0, that's already there. Description, please don't use this. There we go. Entry point is going to be index.js. That's normal. I don't have a test command, get repository. Don't really have a get repository on this one. Not worried about keywords. I'm going to go ahead and put my name on it. And I do everything under the MIT license just because that's the one that makes sense. Is this okay? Enter for yes. And so now we've got a package.json file. So if I cat package.json, you'll see there's not a lot of stuff in there. It's just, you know, name, version, description, main, author, and stuff like that. So npm is a package manager. It stands for Node Package Manager. And you can do npm install, and I'm pretty sure it was parcel. My system is really slow, so this might take a few seconds. Lots of little warnings and stuff like that. That's normal. And then I'll open up code so that we can see what everything is without me having to type a bunch of stuff. Let's see. Just trying to get a hold of me. Trying to reach me. That's still installing, by the way. Your systems will probably go a lot faster than this. mine's old.
So by carousel, you mean like a group of images, and we will, okay.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna change the attributes on an image tag anytime that you click a button, previous or next. And we're also gonna try to make it so it automatically starts looping through using that promise. So it'll just keep going next, 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 next on the promise.
Say did it using use state, so it'll be interesting to see what we do.
Yes, this one's, you're not going to be able to use state on this.
Exactly.
this DOM is so much harder. It requires thought process. So I've been kind of thinking about this like since I was like on Monday, I'm like, yeah, let's totally do that this week. And I'm just like, oh, what did I get myself into? So, all right. So, get out of my email. There we go. Everybody's trying to get a hold of me. It's 3 o'clock. Everyone's like, hey, can you fix my car? No, I did not going to fix your car. So if you notice, now that we've got, we started with a completely blank directory, and now we've got package JSON, package lock JSON, and node modules, and all this other stuff. Move that down here. That is weirdly shaped, but okay, I'm down. So in node modules, you can actually see all of this crap that it installs just to allow us to, I don't know, that seems a little overkill for everything that we just did, right? So that's like, I don't know, probably 50, 60 megabytes just to install Parcel. And then the package lock JSON is generated when you do an install. So npm install either by itself or with another thing that you want to add. So all of this stuff shows what's in that node modules and what versions they are, and you just ignore it. You don't really mess with this. If you have one where you do npmi and it fails, a lot of the times you'll delete the package lock JSON in the node modules folder, and it'll keep it so that it works. So, and then there's our package JSON file, which is the main thing that we're interested in. So on Parcel, Parcel needs a script. So if I do like you saw where he was doing the npm run start, this is where we're going to do a start script. And so this would be, I guess it's just Parcel index.js, which doesn't exist yet. So I'm going to go ahead and save it, and then we're going to do npm run start. And it's going to error, I think. Yeah, no entry found. It exploded, puked up everywhere. So the other thing that we need is we need an HTML file if we're going to be manipulating the DOM. So and I'm going to touch index.js. Actually, this needs to be index.html. That's right, because it runs the HTML file. So now that we've got those two, and this is saved, let me see if it'll run with like nothing in it. So we'll do npm run start. Okay, so now we have a server running on 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me grab a tab, localhost 4. We can grab this thing. Come on, resize. All right. So now we have localhost 1, 2, 3, 4. Shouldn't be anything in it. Like there's really nothing in there. I think that we just leave this running in the background. I don't think it's going to matter too much. It's been a little while since I've messed with Parcel. I'm going to use my shortcut for exclamation point and tab. Gives us that. I think we need to insert a script tag. Let me see if I can remember. So we're going to do a script tag. I believe it uses source and then index. Yes. and then because we're not sticking at the end, I think we have to do a defer. I think that's probably okay. Okay. So if we just start with say just with body. Let me see if I can look up something right quick. Yeah, let's just do body. So now that we have a component, where you guys have learned components, let's do. Sorry, I'm thinking on how I want to do this. I'm going to do class equals app like that. I'm going to save that. And let's do, I believe that we can get away with a constant. It's been a little while since I've done this. So if we do a constant and we want to put an entry point to mount our component, I'm just going to call this equals, oh, how would we do that? I'm trying to think. So you could probably do it with the document.query selector is my guess. So because I don't need to do a query selector all, I could just do query selector and do .app like that. So now we have a place to mount our query selector. I think if we were to do, let's go ahead and just test this, make sure this works before I start coding like crazy. If I do, let's see, I think we're gonna do left card. Was it create element? I'm trying to remember. Create element, and then this one's going to just be a, say, a section. We'll do that one as a section. And then let's see here. How would we append the child on that? Anybody know? If we were to try to put it onto app, like app.append child. Just app.append child. And then I think we could just drop in card, right? Like that. Let's save that and see if it explodes. Okay, so that built. It still doesn't look like that worked right. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so we got class app and now we have a section in there. So that's working out okay. So we've already kind of sort of manipulated the DOM. It still isn't particularly useful, but let's go ahead and start wrapping this into a function so we can call it and make our lives a little easier. Let's see here. Somebody else is trying to text me about chiptunes. Always fun. So let's call this const, and we're going to call this carousel equals, probably going to have to pass in some properties, something like that. We're just going to call this props because, lack of a better term, I'm just going to call it that, or unless you guys want me to start using banana words. Everybody thinks props has to do with React, and no, it's just whatever you put right there. That's it. So, we're going to drop this into here. So this is going to be so I don't know if I like card. Card just doesn't really work for me. How about I don't know. What would be a better word for it for a carousel? Maybe carousel container.
Or panel.
Yeah, panel. There we go. Carousel panel. So just trying to get a little better naming of variables is kind of one of the harder things. So the other thing you could probably do is inside of the carousel panel, you probably want to do probably that's where you would stick your image and then like just 2 buttons, right? So we're going to do carousel image. Dot element, and then we're just going to do an image, and then carousel next. So we're going to have in this, we're going to do carousel panel dot append child. I don't think that we can. I think that we can just put them in any order that we want. I don't think it's really going to matter much, but I think probably previous, next, and then or previous image, then next would probably be the most logical for me. So let's try that. So we're going to do previous. Image, and then next. Save it. Let's refresh this. Oh, something bad happened. Maybe we have to put those onto there and then append it to app last. I always forget. There's like these weird little rules that you have to follow on these. I'm not even entirely sure if that's going to work. What did you guys run across today? Did you guys? I'm already lost.
Let me check.
Because I think you should be able to just append child, and it should work. But on mine, yeah, as soon as we dropped these in, it exploded. So, because we lost our section as soon as we did that. No, we lost our section on that one too. Oh, I've never called it. That's why. Ignore me. You're fine. Now let me switch this back. So what we have to do is we need to call carousel. Right. So now we have a button, an image, and a button. We still can't tell the difference between the buttons. So let's start setting some attributes to this. So if we've got, I guess it really doesn't matter where we do it. We'll go ahead and play with it here. So let's do carousel next. What was it? Set attribute. And we're going to call this class, and we're going to call the class I don't think we need to do a dot on a set attribute for a class name. I think it's just next. Yeah. So let's see if this works. So yeah, so now we have next, and you can see that when it stuck it in there, our next button is at the bottom, even though it's on right here. So as you do it, it appends it to the end of the list over and over and over. So let's go ahead and do our previous. So carousel previous set attribute class, and we're going to do previous like that. So now on the image, we need to give it a source and an alt tag. So let's see here what we have. Let me save this. Somebody just dinged about something else. Give me 1 second, let me check. Okay, cool. Getting all my dings in today. All right, so this is the point where we get to start playing with our data and maybe having some sort of data that we would pass in. So let's find some data to download. We're going to do a new folder, and we're just going to call this images, like that. And let's go to Unsplash, my favorite free thing. I'm just going to Google search it. There we go. Beautiful free images. Anybody have a topic that we want to, anything, mountainscapes, fruit, tiramisu, anything?
Let's go tacos.
All right, tacos.
Cinco was yesterday.
So here's a nice one. We'll go ahead and do this. So we're just gonna, actually we can drop this down. We're just gonna do like a small one. So we're gonna download a small one. All right, so there's that one. And then we're gonna do this one. What is that? Download a small one. And then, come on now. Do not say thanks. That one looks good too. So download small one. All right, so I'm going to show the, come on now. That's not what I wanted. Let's show in folder. All right, so you guys get to see my downloads here. All right, so I'm just gonna select these here. I'm going to cut them and then go back over to the VS Code. And oh, it's not letting me paste in there? That's horrible. All right, let me see here. I'm gonna open up another one here just because I can. And I've got this in a weird place. So I've got users, me, demo, up 31, carousel, images, paste. There we go. So these are really, really, really obscure names. So I'm just going to rename them Taco 1. But you can have them anything you want. Taco 2. All right, so now we have 3 tacos, right? So what I might do up here is we're going to do taco list. equals. What do you guys want for the taco list? I guess it should probably be an array, right? And then probably should have an object inside of there because you probably want more data than just a taco, right? So what you might have is you might have an image or image path, and you would call this say slash images slash taco1.jpg. Okay. You need an alt tag. You don't have an alt tag, the world ends, and people will sue you because people can't see what's on that image. So this is going to be tacos in order. Sounds good. And then say a description. And lorem 20 is not going to work. So here I'm going to grab a lorem right quick. So let's do. There we go. It doesn't like it in JavaScript code. Okay, cool. So we'll save that. We'll save index because it had that stuff in there. And then so taco 2, we're just going to call this one instead of el pastor. And then what's another one? Tacos Leo, like that. This be taco 3. So now we have a taco list of our 3 images in this folder here. So taco 1, 2, or 3. And we're just going to get this and put that into our source. But we've got to pass that in first. So technically, yes, I know it's global, but we're not going to do it that way. So what we're going to do is we're going to pass this in as taco list. And technically, we could just go in here. Save it. All right, let's go back over here, refresh. And so if we go to our console, you can see that we have 3 items that are put in here that are 3 separate objects. So that's kind of cool. So if I wanted to, let's say, set the attribute on the image, we would do carousel image.set attribute. So what we need is we need a source and we need an alt tag. So if I have a source and an alt, the source is going to be our props, and then our first or our 0th array, and then it's got a dot image path and alt tag. So you can see the dot operator right here. Or you could do square bracket notation if you really wanted to, but that's just evil. Why would you do that? This one is going to be, oh, what was it? Jeez, I've already lost. Is image path. I keep thinking it's going to be something else. Image path. And this other one's going to be we're just trying to get something to display right now. We're not even worried about looping through or making the buttons do anything yet. That's something that we're gonna deal with very soon. So let's do alt tag. So save it. And let's take a look and see what's going on with the elements. So we have this image, and it's trying to go to images taco1.jpg. Copy. It doesn't like it. I don't know why. Let's take out the slash and see if it's something that, no, you stupid thing. Let's see here. That's what I get for not preparing for this. Let's try that. Still no image? That's horrible. Did I misspell images? I-M-G, yeah, I-M-A-G-E-S, images. That's weird. It may need to be it probably needs to go under this distribution because it compiles. Let's move that. Fresh. There we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and take it out of phone mode. So I have a previous button and a next button over here. They're not labeled anything, of course, because reasons. So I guess what we could probably do is we could probably put in some labels on those buttons. You just want to do greater than, less than sign, so it's like an arrow pointing. That'll probably be descriptive enough. So what would it be? I think it would be a pin child. Carousel. Pin child. And we're just going to put a string in there. So next is that way. Save that, make sure that works. Ooh, I think it broke it. How did I break that? Refresh. It don't like it. Let's do it. See if that explodes. Oh, it don't like me at all. I already broke it. Sorry, guys. Lesson's over. So if I wanted to put something inside of that, do you guys remember how to do it?
Would be something about adding text content.
Yeah, let's try text content. I think you're right.
Or
I'm pretty sure it's text. Because that, I think, because that should work. The text content, almost positive. Oh yeah, that's right. It's not a function. Told you I'm having to remember this stuff. All right, so now I got a next button. Not exactly what I want, but you know, let's go ahead and change that back to that way, and then we'll do carousel previous text content equals that way. So save it. All right, cool. So now we got these buttons that are sort of descriptive. We can always do the styling later. I prefer to not do my styling in JavaScript. That sounds like a really bad idea, but this no longer is really doing anything. These, not very good at all. So if we wanted to change which array we're in, because right now we're in array 0, if I just wanted to make this so it's a 1 and save it, and then you can see that we've got, you know, the next one, and then say a 2, right? All right, so there's 2. What happens when we hit, say, 3? Anybody?
Nothing. Or it'd be empty or nothing.
It's gonna break it. So because the length is 3 on that array, we have to do less than length. So we're just gonna do 2 there. So event handler. Anybody? Virginia says, my evil nemesis.
Yeah.
All right, so let's kind of, so we got section for the carousel. We're gonna do carousel image holder, button, and previous. Right. So attach, or we're gonna call this mount. Carousel. Okay, because you guys need to start thinking in terms of mount instead of, you know, because you're mounting this component to app when you're doing this. So add elements to carousel. It's a lowercase c. And then add data or text to that. So I think I'm gonna move this one up here and attributes. Buttons. So that gives us our buttons, and then this gives us our image. So let's do our image, set image. So now if I've got this, we need a variable to hold that number that we want to change. So set a variable for the taco carousel. So this one's going to be changing, so we need to do a let. And we're going to do taco picture number equals 0. So we're going to start it at 0. I think that's going to work. Don't hold me to it. And taco picture number. Taco picture number. So save it. All right, so now we're back down to here. This still doesn't do anything, right? So now we need an event handler. Nobody likes event handlers. Let me see if I've got an event handler. Yeah. I have wonderful things that I have done in my life that I can look at. Ah, there we go. Okay, so what we can do is on the button, we can add an event listener, which is, we're just going to do next first. Carousel next. dot, I've already lost where I was at. We're doing an add event listener, right?
Yeah.
And then this is going to be a click event.
Sure.
Okay, so this takes a callback. So we have to pass in a variable of some sort. We're going to call this, I don't know, click event. Sounds completely overly descriptive. I would usually use something like X, but that's kind of nice. So, I think that we would have to do where we're actually changing the set attribute inside of here, but let's just see what happens if we increase our carousel index. No, it's taco picture number plus plus. Right. So, oh, and let's console log taco picture number. All right. So now, if I have console open, I should be able to click on this. Well, it changed to 1, but nothing happened here. And it's also going past the limit, right? So we got to figure that out a little bit more. So I guess probably what you could do is you could just copy this and then put this in right there. Because we've already set the image, but now we're just changing it again. We're manipulating the DOM in that click handler. So now if I go, there we go. Oh, still broken. But at least it's working, but previous doesn't work. So let's go ahead and get previous working. And this is going to be literally the exact same thing, except on the previous button. So we're going to do, and we're going to subtract. Right? So, oh, -1. It doesn't like -1. Oh. All right, so now we've got where it's going forwards and backwards, but we're still limited at that one thing. So I guess if I'm going previous, right? If I want to go previous, do I want to make it so that, do I want to make it so that I'm actually just stopping at 0, or do I want to make it so it loops?
So it loops.
Okay. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to do an if-else statement, right? So we're going to say if taco picture number is less than props.length. No. Did I spell that right? I can't spell today. Else taco picture number equals 0. I think that's going to work. All right, so let's try this. See if it explodes. So far has not exploded. So let's go next. Ooh, let's just go into 0. So, oh, taco picture number is greater than, should be less than. Save it. Getting my logic backwards. All right, so let's see. 1, 2, 3. Ooh. Oh. So taco picture number, it's props.length, right? So it's 3, so it should be less than taco picture number, right? But it hasn't been incremented yet. Maybe we should increment it first. I don't know. I'm torn. I think we should just do props length -1. It's just going to be cleaner. I don't even have to think about it. So 2, 3, 0, 1, 2, 0. Hey, that's 3. We got 3 pictures. So I think that works okay. Previous is still broken, of course. So same basic thing here. We need an if else statement. So if taco picture number 0. So if it equals 0, then we need to turn it to taco picture number equals props length -1. Or else statement. Otherwise, it's just going to do taco picture number -. Right. So next. All right, now previous. Oh, you can even click it as fast as you want and it works. So now let's say we want another taco. I shouldn't have to recode this. I should just have to put it in. So download it. I am not going to say thank you because Xavier's tacos are making me hungry and nobody's open right now. So I'm just going to hold it against him. All right, I'm going to do the Topo Chico. That looks like some carne. Or not carne, carnitas. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, this one looks good. It's like a feast. So let's do this. Download a small one. All right, cool. Show in folder. Cut that. I've got this underneath. Where can I put that? Oh well, I'll just go back to C. That's what I get for having an obscure file directory structure. All right, so that goes into dist and then images, and then we're just going to paste this and call this taco 4. All right, so now we got 4 tacos. So the other thing that we have to do is we need to add it to the list of the tacos. So we need to put another object. I'm going to copy this, put a comma here, and then we're going to do taco 4. I have no idea if that's spelled correct. Yeah, fiesta. Close enough, yeah.
Lose the E after the S.
Fiesta. It's like a feast, right?
Yep. Or it's party.
Mi español is no bueno por caca.
Yeah. It's like we have the balloon fiesta here, so
yeah.
It is not a festival. So you will get corrected.
Yes. So now if I refresh this, did I save it? Yes, I saved it. So now I started here and I'm just going to go up. Oh, there's our fiesta. And I didn't have to change anything in the code at all, just the data that's going into it. So now tomorrow, you guys are getting an Axios call. It's fantastic. It's one of my favorite things, is getting an Axios call this early. Asynchronous data, baby. So here's the question. What if I wanted this to automatically cycle through next, 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 next? Well, that's where we get into promises. It's horrible. Why would we do such a thing? So probably what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little function inside of here. And we're going to call this next handler. I'm not going to pass anything into it. At least I don't think anyway yet. So copy that. Actually, we're going to cut that and just paste that in there. And inside of next, I'm just going to do next handler, invoke it. See if it explodes when I click on next. Okay, it still works, right? So now I don't have to worry about writing that out again. I can just call that function right here. So event handlers, so we're good there. So evil promises. This is evil. You guys ready for some truly evil code or just slightly evil code? So what I'm going to do is I am going to paste in this code. And what I'm going to do is, if you notice, it's going to do delay 3, then console log runs after 3 seconds. So essentially, this is a function called delay in seconds. It returns a new promise, which resolves set timeout, resolve seconds, blah, blah, blah. Delay is the function that we defined. So here's delay. We're passing it in 3 seconds. So we want to pass in only seconds, not milliseconds, because I've already adjusted for that here. The dot then is where it's going to give us our callback. So after that resolves, it then runs this code over and over and over and over. If we loop it, this is where it starts to get evil. So what we're going to do is we are going to save this. We're going to refresh this. We're going to wait for 3 seconds, and this is going to come up only once because it's not looping. So the reason why we need to do it as a promise is if I just did like a timeout with blah, 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 it's going to continue to lock up my computer until the end of time, until I kill it with the task manager. And nobody likes doing that. So when you have it as a promise, it allows other things to happen around it. So start getting into async await, promises, blah, 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 that kind of stuff. And that allows the code to run while other things are going on around it. So that's asynchronous data. I still haven't wrapped my mind around it, and I've messed with it for my entire life. It will be something you will fight with unless you're a genius programmer. If you're not fighting with it, that's just kind of how it works. So if it runs after 3 seconds, let's see what happens when, instead of us running after 3 seconds console logging this thing, what happens if we just run next handler instead? So let's do this and then see what happens. Ooh, it moved after 3 seconds, but it still isn't looping. Well, we could either loop it, or is it possible for us to, well, I guess probably looping probably be the safer bet. So if we want to do a while loop, you guys got into that one day, that horrible day in JavaScript, the first day of JavaScript, right? Let me just see. I don't know if that'll work or not. This is an infinite loop, and I'm going to hope that it doesn't break my computer. So I'm going to save this. All right, and see what happens. Ooh, that doesn't look good. We're going to stop that and close it. Yeah, it looks like that blocked it. It didn't like that at all. It'll eventually close. Here, I'm going to close that out. It didn't like that at all, did it? So I think we got into an infinite loop, but I think that that's a blocking loop. So maybe that promise needs to happen a little differently than a while loop. So why can't we call itself in here instead of putting it into a while loop? So save that. I'm gonna open up a new tab. Shrink it down a little bit for my super crazy ultra wide screen. And localhost 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe we should revert that back before we start going anything crazy. Let's see if this works. Let me Control C that and then restart that just in case, because I get tired of pulling open new tabs. All right, so let's do localhost. Come on. I don't think I broke anything. I didn't make that many changes. There, we'll just Control Z it then. That was the last time that it worked. Yeah, see, it's become unresponsive again. So let's see here. It don't like me. What did I break? I don't know what I did. No. Wonder if it's cached or something. Let me see here. This is where you get into the hard one. Everybody's like, oh, well, carousel's really not that hard. Oh, it is once you start getting into loops and stuff like that, because it has to continually loop over and over and over and over until the end of time. So I'm gonna put in a console log in here so we can see what's going on. And see if it's console logging at least. There we go. So yet another tab opened. Oh, come on now. Oh, I probably still have another one open somewhere. Let me see. What do I have? I bet you I do have another one open somewhere. So I can hear my my fans going on my computer, so maybe I had one open earlier when I was messing with the other project. Yeah. Control C this for just 1 second. And see if it wants to crash. Not that one, not that one. React app. Not that one. I have way too many things open. No, not that
Story
one.
of my life.
It'll be under here somewhere. All right, so. All right, so we're going to connect and let it fail. There we go. So now we're going to run it. I'm going to reload. Waiting for localhost. Inspect. Console. Nothing is happening at the console. It's still waiting for localhost. That's weird. Don't think I have anything else running on localhost. Empty cache and hard reload. Congratulations, I broke my app. Coding is hard. This is why everybody likes React better. Nicholas is over there going, uh-huh. I see you
I
have
got
your...
a carousel to work, but I did it a little differently.
Yeah, mine's not necessarily the only one way to do it.
Well, mine was just, I used literal strings in order to just change, I had all the pictures numbered
Yeah, so you
as named,
changed 1,
and it
2,
just
3,
changed,
4.
yeah.
Yeah. See, with mine, I'm getting all of the data, so and it's doing it more in a way that you might get data from an external source from,
Right.
and which is kind of nice. I have absolutely no idea how this thing's crashed.
I just wanted to see if I could do it.
So I have successfully broken my carousel somehow. I am going to comment this out, save that, and see if that's the thing that's exploding it. It's built, reload, nuke it. You know, I'm just going to close out of all of this, close all windows. Okay, something just dinged me. What dinged me? No. No. Why would you do that? Probably have something that I haven't edited or who knows what. Oh, which one is it? What tab is telling me I can't? Die. Ooh, that's nasty. Yeah, there's definitely something on here that is stopping me from doing this. Come on. All right, we're gonna have to task manager this because there's obviously something running. We're gonna end Google Chrome's life. All right, now I get to see if it wants to reset all of my pages the way I like, where I can't find anything. All right, so I don't need that. Don't need that one. Don't need that one. I have so much stuff open right now, it's not even funny. Okay, that's one of the local host. That's probably where it was crashed.
Look, get down.
Okay, so I don't need that. Don't need that. Don't need that. I need that. Close out a couple of these tabs. Not using markdown lint. Probably need that. Probably need that. Yeah. Okay. So now that we have uncrashed my machine, let's see if we can get this to open again. So we're going to do Yay. All right, so let's try this again. We're just going to uncomment this out, save it, and make sure it hasn't exploded. All right, so that worked. So we'll do console. Yeah, it says, oh no. Okay, cool. So we know that that's working. So why can't we just call delay 3 from in here? Well, there's one. Oh no. Only ran once and it exploded. That's not good. Don't think that it's completely locked up though. Let me refresh this, see what happens. Only does it once, so I guess that won't loop it either. Let's find if we can find an easier way of doing this without looping it there, because I don't think that that's gonna. I don't think that's gonna work. What if we? This is another weird one that you guys have never seen. Nobody else has either. I'm gonna try this. So let's see. Oh no. Yeah, see, it doesn't want to loop that way. I'm trying to figure out a way of making this loop, and I'm not entirely sure if I remember how I did it before. Because it should have once when it was done doing this, it should have done this. I guess the other way of doing it would probably just to be the put the put it in here. See if that works. It doesn't like that, does it? I'm gonna have to get into some fancy stuff to make that work. Not sure. That's weird. So let's see here. Maybe. I do it once. You guys know how I would be able to do that? Not really.
Nope.
I apologize. I was not watching. What happened?
Oh no, I'm just I'm trying to figure out how to do an infinite loop on this. I'm also trying to pick your brains. You're like, oh no, the TL doesn't know what he's doing. Next he's gonna say 4H and map are the same thing. Let's see here if I can find
Well, a set interval is a infinitely repeating process instead of a timeout. Timeout just happens once, correct?
yeah, but we're resolving a set timeout. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I think that there's a way of doing it on the set timeout. So probably what we want to do is we want to do a set timeout where we're going to use a callback in here as well. Trying to think. I'll figure it out here in a second. I'm trying to remember how I've done this in the past. Let's see here. So we've got function delay in seconds. If we were to do a set timeout, we could probably run itself again. Let's see here. Let me just comment this out. I'm going to play a little bit and see if I can figure this out. So if we do, we're going to do, we're just going to call this looper. We're going to do seconds. And what if we just did set timeout immediately? Section set timeout is a, and I think we could do a callback immediately inside of here. So let's do console log. And then we'll do again, that's not going to loop itself because we'd have to call delay from inside of there. Let me see how that's, see that's not going to work the way that I wanted it. So I think this is still kind of the way to go. I think see what happens when I do. I'm trying something different. It's probably going to crash my system. Watch. All right, so it said, oh no, oh no, oh no. Okay, so it's looping every 3 seconds. Okay, but it's not putting in the next handler. So let me copy this to the next handler, save it. Ooh. Oh. I think that might be working. Oh, that's evil. Okay, so, and I can still click. All right, so we're just going to call delay 3, even though it doesn't do anything. We don't need a dot then. And it still works. All right, so there we go. I guess the other, so the part that actually works is this delay seconds. We could actually move this this out of that return new promise where it just goes next handler like that, and it'll work. So this resolver here is just running our code inside of there. The callback here is running this code. And it's not blocking because I can still, use the web page. Easy, right? You guys are like, how in the hell? No. All right, so I don't like this delay 3. Let's go to 5. That's right. So that should give us 5 seconds to look at each nice little dish. So what if I wanted to, while I'm in here, I mean, I've got a description. I mean, how if we, what if we go ahead and just wrap this stuff in some divs or something, and then make it so they're stacked on each other, so that you've got like a description underneath it. Probably could do that. And then again, it is kind of getting late, so we've only been at this for like an hour and a half to get a carousel working. But man, that's simply complicated and ugly code. Oh my God, this is horrible. Let me save that. Still should be all right. I'm just gonna Control A, copy that, and then see if I can post it up in the thing. Let's do code snippet. Create snippet. This is by far the ugliest in okay, so I just posted that in the channel so you can kind of play with it, and it's something other than a mortgage calculator or whatever else. Yeah, fancy. And then also, if you look at the elements, let's see if I can shrink this down a little bit. So we go to, so notice how we've got the source and alt tag are both changing.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of nice. So you guys took notes, hopefully. You're like, no, I was hoping for a fail. I'm gonna stop recording.